So yes, my name is Anna Lintunen. I am a research coordinator at the Center of Excellence of Atmospheric Sciences. I am also a researcher in forest ecology. But yes, now I will talk to you about doctoral education in the Finnish Center of Excellence. So our Center of Excellence has been continuously working since 2002. And we are a joint Center of Excellence with University of Helsinki. We are leading the Center of Excellence, and the other partners are University of Eastern Finland and then Finnish Meteorological Institute. And the Center of Excellence funding comes from the Academy of Finland. Our funding is approximately 1.9 million euros per year. But of course, there are many of us using the money. So the aims in our Center of Excellence are the scientific aims to quantify the atmosphere ecosystem interactions and feedbacks in changing climate. So the topic is really wide. In order to do this, there has been activities to find out and quantify the main climatic feedbacks and forcing mechanisms related to aerosols, clouds, precipitation, biosphere atmosphere, and cryosphere atmosphere interactions. So there are scientists studying soil processes, what is happening in trees. There are people studying volatile organic compounds emitted to the atmosphere by the trees, and people studying in the atmosphere how the aerosols are formed. So many scientists from different disciplines working together. We also develop, refine, and utilize newest measurement techniques and modeling tools, scaling from quantum chemistry to global Earth system observations and models. Our aim is to create a deep and quantitative understanding on the role of atmospheric clusters and aerosol particles, and integrate the results in the context of regional and global scale Earth system understanding. So the idea with these slides is for me to show how wide the area of the Center of Excellence is and how there are different disciplines involved. So we believe in this integrated approach. So typically, different people and different research groups, sometimes even different organizations, are measuring greenhouse gases, aerosols, air quality, ecosystems, and climate. But in our Center of Excellence, we try to measure these all in collaboration and in same location. So by this integrated approach, we want to understand the feedbacks and to reduce the uncertainties and to mitigate and adapt effectively to climate change. So we use continuous and comprehensive in situ observations in different environments, platforms, and societies. We do targeted gap-filling laboratory experiments. So not only follow what is happening in the environment, but also do experiments. We use applications of ground and satellite-based remote sensing and modeling, as said, and aim for scientific integration and synthesis of these all. And this is the idea at our field stations. There are several these kind of figures. Maybe you have seen one before, but this is showing in our station for measuring Earth system atmosphere or Earth surface atmosphere relations in southern Finland. And this is our super site, so to say. So we have various measurements of different kinds at this station. And our aim is to measure basically everything that is exchanged between the forests, the lake, and nearby peatland and the atmosphere. So our staff working in the topic of the Center of Excellence is 350 people approximately. And here you can see these people divided by nationalities. So 65% are originally from Finland, but then there's also a big share of people from with other nationalities. And if we look at the PhD students, I think even bigger share is represented by the other nationalities. And yes, here's Finland by Finn, Russia is 4%, China is 8%, EU is 14%, and other countries 9%. There is another pie showing the career stage of the Center of Excellence members. So we have 7% are professors. Then there are 8% researchers, let's say, so senior researchers. And then postdocs represent 30% of the members. And PhD student also nearly 30%. And then assistants include summer workers and master students. So this shows how big role the PhD student play in this entity. Here are some outputs of our Center of Excellence, just showing with these gray bars all our publications. These are cumulative numbers. And then we have separated here with this black line the nature and science publications, and then European Research Council grants, ERC grants, are marked with this red, just to show the level of our science. Then more slides about the PhD education. So funding. So annually, on average, 16 doctors graduate from the Center of Excellence. And typically, the PhD students are hired to projects funded with external funding. So not university funding, but external funding from other funding sources. So this implies that they typically follow, especially in the beginning of their PhD, a plan and a research theme that are predefined in the project plan, because their supervisors have applied for this external funding. And when they have applied the funding, they already need to prepare a research plan. So the PhD students are hired to do the work planned there. But then there are also PhD topics that emerge from master thesis work or some other ongoing research. And in this case, the funding is either applied specifically for the PhD from some association, for example, or then it can be covered from existing external funding. And one such source is this Center of Excellence funding. And this allows more freedom, maybe, in the implementation of the research for the PhD student than when he or she is hired to an existing project. But of course, both options are used and are good. And large share of our Center of Excellence funding is actually used to the salaries of doctoral students. So I didn't get exact percentage for this presentation. I'm sorry for this. And if you are interested, I can, of course, check it out later. But the Center of Excellence funding does not typically cover salary for the whole PhD period, but it's more used as flexible funding that can fill in gaps in between project funding. So it is this kind of flexible funding that, because typically research funding comes in short periods, and there might be some few months gaps in between the last project stops and the next begins. So it can be used flexibly to help there. Then about the importance of the PhD education for the Center of Excellence. So the Center of Excellence provides top-level doctoral education based on its focus research areas. So the PhD students are very heavily involved in the practical research work. Actually, I would even say that they are the ones that do most of the practical research work in a Center of Excellence. And their work is highly appreciated. So the PhD candidates are considered more as researchers than students, and they participate in scientific discussions and planning together with the senior scientists, of course, and in their supervision. And also this wide Center of Excellence networks, they offer career possibilities abroad for the PhD students when they graduate. Here are some photos, just a couple of examples of our PhD students working in the field. These are in this left-hand side. There is some soil gas exchange measurements, as well as in the right-hand side, there is some decomposition experiment going on, and CO2 fluxes are measured from the chamber. Here are a couple of other examples. We have these high towers in these field stations so that people and the researchers can reach the trees we are measuring, and also, of course, to get high in the sky to measure. So here are a couple of PhD students doing some measurements and maybe doing some maintenance to these instruments at the tower. So, for example, in this right-hand side figure, there is a PhD student with this transparent chamber that is automatically closing and opening, and it is measuring the CO2, water vapor, and volatile organic compound exchange between the chute and the atmosphere. Here are some stem measurements. 3 stems are measured, how they release water and how they use water, the trees. And in the other picture, there are some meteorological measurements maintained. But these are all PhD students working. There are also a few pictures of courses. So PhD students take courses at our stations. I think I have something about that in the next slide. But they are like data-intensive courses where real data from the stations is used together with other PhD students representing different disciplines. And there are real research questions that are trying to be answered with the data. And of course, the senior scientists and supervisors and also technical staff are there to help and advise. So integration of the PhD students to the group, that is really important. And to do that, we have regular topical guidance group meetings in each organization. And this means that there are one or several supervisors, senior scientists, there with the PhD students to discuss regularly what is going on, and everybody can tell what they have been doing, and if there are some challenges, they can be discussed together. It is also important peer support for the PhD students. Of course, there are also individual face-to-face meetings with the supervisor. Well, yes, peer support was mentioned. And then also the PhD students contribute annually in the Center of Excellence meetings. So these meetings last for 3 days. They are organized every year. Scientists meet each other, and they are joint meetings for the whole Center of Excellence. and also some other scientists from the network, like collaborators, are invited from abroad. And there the PhD students have presentations, so they have a big audience of 200 people, and they present their work. There are also integration via social activities. There is a running club, floorball morning, social Thursday in a pub, movie club, annual recreation day. These are just examples. The PhD students are encouraged to participate in international activities. So there are campaigns, measurement campaigns, expeditions, workshops. They are highly recommended for the PhD students. And integration of the Center of Excellence is also enhanced by joint ventures such as big data that many are working with, and making the working community open and less competitive. Here is a picture from our last Center of, well, I think 2 years back, of our Center of Excellence, or 1 year back, sorry, Center of Excellence meeting. Our scientific advisory board is here in the front. Here is just a small peek into the program, and I just wanted to, there are like topic in each session. So for example, here has been new particle formation, and then the next one is atmospheric aerosols. And I just marked here the presentations given by a PhD student. There are also some senior scientists giving presentations, but all marked with red circle here are PhD students. And there are from University of Helsinki, Finnish Meteorological Institute, and University of Eastern Finland, who are all part of the Center of Excellence. And also in the end of the day, there is poster session and cocktail party. That's important to have this kind of social interaction between people, and the PhD students can get to know people and also everybody present a poster, each and every one of them. Then a few words about collaboration between universities and research institute. So Finnish Meteorological Institute, that is a research institute in the Center of Excellence. And those PhD students who work in FMI, Finnish Meteorological Institute, they have one supervisor in FMI and one in the University of Helsinki. So it's a joint supervision. And they take courses, PhD courses in the university, and get their degree from the university. And University of Helsinki is the only university in Finland that educates meteorologists. So thank you for your attention. Here's a picture from the archipelago of Finland. When working remotely, these sceneries have been present during the last months. But if you have any questions, I will be happy trying to answer them.
Please, colleagues, if you have any questions, you can unmute your microphone and ask directly. Anna. Do we have any questions?
Yeah. I could say a couple of words if nobody has questions. Thanks, Anna. It was a really nice presentation, and I'm just adding that when I think from the MODEST point of view and the doctoral training centers, we used to have a very nice kind of doctoral school or doctoral program funded funded nationally by the Academy of Finland, which is the same fund as for the Center of Excellence. That was directly connected to the Center of Excellence, and it could be thought of as a virtual doctoral training center It worked for 10 years from 2005 to 2015. We had also some companies involved and providing some training and internships for the students, and that was directly connected to this center of excellence, and it was a really nice thing. And it's really a pity that this funding mechanism ended some 5 years ago. But that's was something that would be very nice kind of mechanism for the MODEST activities as well. So we can look for possibilities.
Yes, thank you, Katja, for the addition.